It is high time for another news video, and I have a quick one for you guys. I'm covering a game that I'm actually paying for, that I've actually backed. I'm covering a campaign that recently ended, comparing it to what it's done previously to see maybe why it didn't make so much. There's a canceled campaign that had some... Well, let's just say they didn't put everything and show the face that they needed to in their risks and assessment and stuff like that. So there's a lot to go over. There's new looks at some cool IP miniatures and more. So stay tuned. Today's video is brought to you by Into the AM. They make fantastic shirts just like this. They fit great, they feel great, they look fantastic, and they are cheaper than ever right now. 80% off Black Friday and July clearance sale, plus you can save an additional 10% off with my code. Follow the link in the description below. So as you can see, styles from up to $5. So $5 and up, they have a whole bunch and they look great too. As you can see, they look really, really good. Now this sale is a limited time. So after this video, be sure to go ahead and follow that link in the description below. Save yourself 10% extra. These look fantastic. Some of their new arrivals just look great. Oh man, some of these are just so good. Fantastic. I still need to get this shirt. Those button-up shirts, so comfy, so comfy. I love them for work. They're fantastic. So anyway, Into the AM, again, they've been a long-term sponsor of this channel because they believe in the sensibilities of this channel, because they just appreciate good, honest work and communication and offering a good product at a good price and making sure their customers are happy. And what more could you ask for that, except maybe 80% off plus 10% extra. Again, link in the description below. Okay, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump in. Now, I'm a little late to the party, but DC Superhero United has launched. I'm going to go over what they have for an expansion, go over some of their stretch goals, and just let you know, yes, now that I am back, I did, in fact, pledge. Of course, you guys kind of knew this was going to happen anyway. I'd kind of flip-flopped on the Marvel United a fair bit and didn't like how expensive it ended up being, or just how much storage it had for it. But at the same time, I do like Marvel, and I do like games that you can play quite easily. So I was already on the fence, and then DC was added, and I'm a huge DC fan, so I had to go ahead and take the plunge. You guys know, if I see Batman, I typically hit the back button. It's just as simple as that, more or less. Okay, so 800,000, and this is kind of an interesting number because you'll see they almost have 7,000 backers. You see, Come On does this thing that used to be the norm, but no longer is, where they launch at a cheap price where it's just a base, and they slowly add more expansions to it, and you keep upping your pledge. It allows them to keep raising pledge money throughout the campaign. It allows them to kind of trickle it in, so it doesn't seem, oh, it's just $35 more here, and it's just $40 more here, and just $20 more here, and so you don't get sticker shock from the $400 all in or whatever. But at the same time, it means that it looks like a smaller campaign. We're gonna look at another campaign here that has way more than this, and yet way fewer backers, because at the end of the day, this is revenue. So a lot of it is just determined not by how many backers you have, but by how much money those backers can throw at it. Kind of an interesting tidbit there. So at about 800,000, I think that's trailing slightly behind the Marvel. Of course, this is on GameFound instead of Kickstarter, and Marvel is just more popular than DC with the Marvel Universe in place as well. So either way, it looks pretty good. It's the same thing as Marvel United gameplay-wise, right? But they obviously have their own stuff. So they do have stretch pay for 4 months, so it's $25 a month for the Titans pledge. And also, these prices are not too bad. $65 for a base game, $100 for that plus the expansion, plus stretch goals. You gotta keep that in mind, that you also get those stretch goals. So yes, you're paying more in shipping than retail, but at the same time, you're getting all those stretch goals as well, right? And they do have the Metropolis expansion. This has 2 minis that I'm super excited about because I think my daughter would love both. So Metropolis has a lot of really common heroes that you may recognize, like Supergirl and Crypto, and even Steel, who's more of a B tier, but still, Crypto obviously looks great with his tongue hanging out, and this Supergirl mini is perhaps one of the best ones I've ever seen. I can see my daughter playing her quite a lot. Also, is Jimmy Olsen, Doomsday, Brainiac. The Brainiac mini looks great as well. Superboy and Lois Lane. So a lot of people that people will actually know which is awesome to see. And this Supergirl, as you can see, the mini looks great. I can see my daughter playing this a lot. She would love that. My youngest daughter, that is. Just a great mini. And then, of course, Steel here, and then Crypto down here. They don't have a painted version of him, but he looks awesome nonetheless. I love, again, his floppy ears and his tongue hanging out. He's happy to be superheroine, and the Dooms, or Brainiac as well. Again, I think this looks great. What a great pose for him on his little throne there. So, looks pretty darn nice, I would say. $35, and you get more than just the minis, of course, right? You get all these different locations, and challenge card, and kryptonite shards, and just everything you need to, all the different 36 hero cards and stuff to actually play the people, right? So overall, not too bad. If we go over to stretch goals, you'll see that they are almost. In fact, by the time I post this video, it'll probably already be there. Jonah Hex will be there. And what I like about the Jonah Hex minis is just how different he is from everybody else. I think that's very appreciated to have a lot of unique people. I think the last time I saw this, they were doing Gorilla Grodd, obviously having a big telepathic monkey. Sounds like an awesome mini villain to me. They also did like Ra's al Ghul, who's pretty common. I love when Ra's al Ghul is shown as a warrior with the sword out versus, some kind of like conniving, guy or something like that, which those were too. Martian Manhunter, right? Obviously another popular one. There's quite a bit here. Black Manta looks cool. Definitely works well with the chibi. Everybody loves Booster Gold. If you don't, then you don't know the character. He's fun. So yeah, all of these quite nice, actually, I think. And for the most part, I actually know him, which is pretty good as well. So anyway, DC Superheroes United, they will be having more expansions. I suspect probably about 3 more, maybe 4 more, and then they'll have an all-in. They still have 17 days to go. Now, moving on from that, we have Sirens. Now, this is interesting. Sirens is at 151,000, which isn't bad necessarily. 589 backers. If you recall, I did a top, whatever, where, people had, how many people were following, and this was up there. I think this had, 11,000 followers, I think it was. 589 backers. It goes to show how little I value, at least, that pre-backer thing. I've seen it be really high. I've seen it be really low. At the end of the day, I don't think it truly matters. That a backer doesn't necessarily mean, a follower doesn't necessarily mean that they will become a backer. So 14 days to go on this. And again, I'm not downplaying their success. I'm just saying it wasn't some huge thing that it ended up looking like it would be. Now, why is that? Let me know in the comments below what you think it is. I think some of it has to do with what you're getting. Some of it has to do with the price, right? I think the more people know ahead of time, and the longer they know ahead of time, the more accurate that follower actual amount actually is. But often you show a little bit of information over time and then show the whole thing, and then by that time you've already gained followers that didn't know and don't check until it launches. Or you do it early, in which case the oh my gosh, look at this new and exciting thing is already over as well. So I just don't really follow it too much. I think some of it's because it doesn't come with the minis right off the bat. You have to kind of pay for the minis. Some of it just comes from, I don't know, it's just a little bit of not showing it off. This looks like a lot, right? But it's actually not a whole lot. See right here, it's $299, and that's definitely the most popular one, 304. That's just crowdfunding for you. People go to the highest one no matter what. All these other ones have done just a little bit. This one's not too bad at 111 times for 210, but obviously $300, you're paying for quite a bit. And I'm not sure it actually shows that well. It's fine, but you're seeing little buildings here. There's 23 of these little tokens, right? That's a token tray. Maybe even half a token tray with the tin markers. So this is a token tray here, but they, obviously they punch it on and make it look like more. It just, it's fine. It's whatever. I don't know. You let me know your thoughts. What do you think it is that had people, 11,000 people or so follow this, and then about half of 1,000 people actually back it? Be curious to know your thoughts. Either way, 14 days left to go on there. And if you go to stretch goals, they are doing some voting and stuff like that. But as you can see, a lot of it is kind of building up to it, right? And it's kind of this weird thing where they just don't really have, a lot of pictures to show. So a lot of this is just voting, right? And so maybe they just weren't prepared too much for that. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. Either way, I'm glad to see it funded. It does look quite different. It's just interesting to see that difference between the two numbers there. 20 Strong is doing quite strong on campaign. 541,000 raised, 4,600 plus backers, and so 11 days to go. 20 Strong tends to do quite well. This is not their first campaign. It goes to show how many people are enjoying the system, which I think is pretty cool. If we go to rewards here, you'll see that the base pledge is $30, or you can get the deck only for $60, or you can get the core and deck bundle for $70, or you can get the complete gameplay bundle for $130. It's becoming kind of expensive. Look at this, 12 times, become a CTG strategist, $750. This is a big one here. This is every base game we've crowdfunded forevermore. They do this every so often to quickly raise the funds. CTG does a good job on that, and the first 12 people can go and grab this. They'll definitely get their money's worth out of it, but that is quite a bit of money up front as well. It is, 150 a month, so even that was stretch pay, which is kind of cool. But yeah, anyway, these are kind of interesting. You play each one slightly differently, yet they do have a common theme. So like in this one, you have these cards here, or in one of them, you're like navigating the woods, or in this one here, you can see you're actually see northeast, right? You're navigating through there. So it's just kind of interesting how each one plays, and you're going through each one. So I don't know how different they are. Again, I've not played it. Let me know your thoughts. If you've played 20 Strong, what's the big differentiator for you for them? Because one thing I've noticed, I scrolled through this a few times, I didn't notice anything that stood out as like, this is why this game is different, right? Like you have the how to play, right? And so, you know, you're playing cards and you're doing different things. I think some of it's the fact that each deck does different things, right? So what is 20 Strong that makes it stand out so much? Again, love to hear your thoughts, of course, because obviously it's quite popular. Next up, Historica, Arcanum, Cults of London. Another one that I felt had quite a few followers and didn't really get all of the backers. Here, 402 backers, 68,000, which it only had a $10,000 goal, so it's whatever. Still 21 days to go, of course, but again, it didn't quite capture everything. And I think some of it's just the fact that they aren't quite ready yet to show off everything. So I don't know if they just it launched too early or what, but they still have all of these, right? So the co-op is locked out, the versus mode is unlocked, the one versus all is not locked, is still locked out. It's not unlocked yet. You know, they don't show this very well. This doesn't look actually like a whole lot. You know, like that just looks like not too much, which is fine. It depends on the price, of course. They talk about how deterministic it is, and they have a dice tower, which is kind of funny, I suppose. Now, this is based off of an IP. I didn't realize that until later on, and some of their add-ons show that. So you can see here, most popular, 159. You get the deluxe package, right, which will always be the most popular. Though, honestly, you know, the base tier is doing pretty good with the standees, too. Part of that might be because these are the only two minis they've shown, right? So later on, you're going to see some of the minis, and you'll notice they only show 2 of them, more coming later. And it's like, well, what the heck? You know, I just don't understand. These are the RPG books, right? So these are like 5th edition adventure books and stuff. So they do have options to add the RPG stuff to your board game. I think they should distinguish between the two a little bit. And maybe that's kind of part of the problem, is it just doesn't, you know, like this isn't really a great picture, right? This doesn't unlock. I mean, that's great, but you know, like show the player reference cards if you can. So I almost feel like they weren't quite ready yet, which is kind of interesting. And they honestly don't show the game flow very well either, right? Like you have a quick action here and a relic, but like, okay, well, what do you do with those? How many times do you play it? It looks like you roll dice, I guess, and then add cards, and those cards I don't know, right? So it doesn't explain it very well. And the miniature showcase, as you can see, you're just going to see 2 miniatures over and over again. Those are the 2 they're showing. Reviews are coming soon. They didn't have reviews. So, you know, it has all this fantastic artwork, has all this fantastic stuff around a lot of the campaign, and yet a lot of it is just kind of missing as well. Kind of interesting. And I'm wondering if they'd been a bit more prepared, if their campaign would have done better. I feel like it would have. All right. Rayman the board game. I've shown this off a few times, but here we can actually see some of the minis. I put that in quotes because obviously this is a 3D render. It'll be interesting to see like how skinny they can actually make this and have it not break, right? So you're kind of limited with, this style that the like Ubisoft like art department did for the Rayman series. Again, see, super skinny arm here, super skinny connection point there. These are just 3D versions of the art here, which is fine. But in fact, it may actually be like exactly from the game. They did a good job connecting Rayman, I think. So the bow connects to what looks like it's like a vine that he's hanging off of, and that's where his foot is, and that's where his body comes off of again as well. But again, how will that look like as an actual miniature? A real miniature, this big, plastic? I don't know. Either way, September 2024 is when it comes out. So, again, 1 to 4 players. It sounds still like it could be a lot of fun. It should be a beautiful game, and hopefully they make it quite well. I'm so excited about it, just because I like the IP. So, we'll see. Coming up here real soon, by the way, in like a day and a half, the 40th anniversary collection of Jim Henson's Labyrinth. I know, again, a lot of you have been following it. That doesn't mean it's backers. We've just established that. But it does look like if you like the Labyrinth, this is a fun thing to collect. If nothing else, it does have quite a few different games and game modes in it and stuff like that, some minis. I don't think any of it is necessarily super high quality in the sense that it's like, oh, this is a fantastic game. Oh, these are fantastic, top tier miniatures or anything like that. But again, if you like the IP, it might be something worthwhile. All right, Odalin ended. As you can see, they made about $1.5 million. I think that's kind of interesting because if you go to Dragori Games and you look at their last Tenaris Ultimate Edition, $2.8 million, and you might think, oh, this wasn't a success. And I love your thoughts on that. Is it because it doesn't have the IP of Tenaris? Is it because that Ultimate Edition was essentially 3 or 4 at this point, different campaigns worth, a whole bunch? Again, it's one of those things where 4,000 backers, that's not a lot. I mean, that's not like a bad number. It's not as much as the one that has made, less than 800,000. So a lot of it is just how much money you can throw at it, right? And obviously those other campaigns, you could do more. 4,000 plus is still a pretty good number. I think they did quite well there. It's just interesting to see this number based off the backers, based off of, some of the other stuff where if you build up to it, you can get quite large. You can almost 3 million on that one. And again, maybe it's the fact that it was, Tenaris, and Tenaris is more popular. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts, of course. Now, there is one more thing I wanted to kind of cover. This right here, this is Starbeast. It was canceled. As you can see, they wanted 45,000. They got 1,893 by 11 backers. They obviously were not going to fund, right? And so I think it's smart to cancel it for sure. What's interesting to me is their reasoning. So we go to here, and it says, I was obviously underprepared and shouldn't have attempted to take on this project this big. It is only me working on the project design, marketing, etc. I did the best I could. My problem with that whole bit, if we go to risk and challenges, it's we. This happens all the time. I've seen YouTubers do this all the time. It's one dude doing a YouTube channel, yet they always refer to themselves as we, like they're some business. The problem is then when you're selling a product or when you're trying to get people to give you money and you see stuff like we strive to create a fun and engaging gaming experience for you at Star Metal Studio, this guy's bedroom. We face only one real challenge. We are a small company of one, right? So in other words, why is it all this we, and this is Star Metal Studio and this is all of this? And then we have all the, the AI art and all this other kind of stuff and fuzzy pictures here and no reviews and whatnot. Like there's obviously other issues, right? And then afterwards, we find out it's only me. When are these companies, when are these people, when are these, the people that are launching these campaigns going to start being upfront and honest with us? I think it's a great thing that you're just doing this solo thing and you're trying to fund your dream and all this stuff. I think that's awesome. You should market that, not hide it. And then after the fact, when you cancel it, oh, by the way, it's just one guy. Imagine actually if this had a prettier face on it, right? And enough people will actually follow it thinking that we at Star Metal Studio is just one guy. I don't understand why it's so hard to be upfront, why it's so hard just to speak honesty, when it's so hard to just not pretend to be something you're not. I lean into it. I think it's great. One of the wonderful things about crowdfunding is it does make some dreams come true. It does allow a small handful of people to launch actual campaigns and make actual games that they've dreamed up. That's super cool. But the people giving you money should know everything they can about you, and that includes your royal we that you're using for your studio. I just don't get it. I mean, at the end of the day, it's probably good it was canceled just because between some of the lack of fit and finish and then of course the whole Wii thing that I just don't understand. I think it's overall better. What the heck happened to this, by the way? What are you doing, GameFound? What is that? Is that even like a... Why is it so fuzzy? If I refresh, is that going to be there still? No, it's some other thing. What was that? Come on. Anyway, guys, I know it's been a while. I know I'm a little late to the party on a lot of this. I do apologize. I am happy to be back, of course. Again, you can save 10% on top of that 80% Black Friday and July sale at Into the AM. Get cool shirts just like this. That is linked down below, along with all these campaigns. So each and every single campaign, plus a whole lot of others. There's a whole host of links for you in the description. Be sure to check that out at your convenience. Guys, if you appreciate the video, if you appreciate my coverage on these games, on these campaigns, and on this industry, be sure to like the video. That does help a lot. Or leave a comment letting me know. Again, if you have any opinions, if you have any questions on anything I covered or something I didn't cover, leave them in the comments. I'll be sure to read them as well. Guys, thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day. Take care. Bye, guys.